Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their practices, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable advisors from across the country. And joining me on this segment is Andrew Dressel. He's an advisor with Abundo Wealth. Andrew, welcome to the program.
Appreciate it, Mark. Thank you for having me today.
Tell us a little bit about your work and specifically, who are the types of clients that you specialize in helping?
That's a great question. So at Abundo Wealth, we really focus on helping individuals, plan for their future. We work with individuals across the spectrum, which is, such a wide variety for us. Because of the way that we structure our business, we work with individuals right out of college who are just focusing on paying off student loan debt, all the way up to retirees and post-retirees on managing their wealth and making sure that they essentially don't run out of dollars in retirement. So, such a wide range that we do work with.
When you work with such a wide range of folks, do you find that do they all have different kind of challenges and concerns on their minds already, or are there some commonalities and common things that you hear?
Well, there's definitely commonalities, right? There's a lot of focus around, cash flow management, how to save and invest, but it does vary very significantly from one individual to another because, a younger generation might have different goals or focuses than someone that is near retirement. And so it really is important to have, specialized individual advice that aligns with an individual's goals versus just kind of a cookie cutter type advice.
I could imagine, because you just made me think of like what they're calling the great resignation now, and those people nearing retirement. Now you're probably hearing a lot of, hey, do I have enough if I quit right now? Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're coming across that question on a weekly basis with individuals reaching out to us. So,
Yeah, let's speak to that right for a moment now that we're thinking about it. This recent pandemic, tell me, like, has it shifted any strategies or advice that you give, or just in the minds of your prospects and clients? What's on their mind as a result of the pandemic?
Yeah, it's definitely shifted the conversation. I don't know if it necessarily changed the advice, but it's definitely highlighted for individuals, as we were going through periods of lockdowns, people really refocusing on what are some of those habits that they're doing every day, right? Eating out less, right? Going out less. People are finding that they're having additional cash flow that was available to them. And so the big thing that's, I think, has really come out of this is highlighted how people spend their money, what's most important for them. And that's brought up a lot more questions over what should I be doing with my dollars? And am I doing it in the right way?
Excellent. As you start to work with folks, do you find that do people hold any kind of common myths or misconceptions about financial planning that may keep them, from having success? I know a lot of people, they Google things online. What are some of the crazy things that you hear?
Google is a great resource, but like anything on the internet, right? Not everything's fact, and it's important to actually have a professional advice around that. Common misconceptions that are out there. Well, that's a great question. There's a lot of them. A lot of people think that, hey, I should just be putting as much into my pre-tax 401k as I can to get that tax deduction. But a lot of individuals, as we start to look towards their retirement plan, when they have to start taking out required distributions at 72, when you're in your 40s, you're not thinking about that. You're trying to save as much taxes today, but it creates a huge burden for a lot of individuals 20, 30 years down the road that they don't even know is coming. And so, it's important to actually look at it from your individual perspective, what you need to be doing.
Now, linked to that, some of these myths or misconceptions, when you finally start working with folks and digging into what they've been doing, do you see any big glaring mistakes that are common among people, or any big pitfalls that a lot of people fall into you can kind of warn folks about?
Yeah, I would say, for a lot of individuals, it's waiting to start saving. And I think, we can't say this enough, but the sooner you start saving and start planning for the future, the better off you're going to be. There's so many people we talk to in their 40s and 50s, and I wish I had started at my 30s. I wish I would have started that earlier. And there's no time such as the present. So if you're in that group where you feel like you're late to get started, now is the best time. If it's not even on your radar, now is the best time too to also get started. So I think that would be one of the big ones that overall person to person, we find is everyone wished they would have started saving, started investing earlier, and so just started planning for the future.
Now,
So
how little is enough? Because I know I'm guilty of it too. I used to say, I don't even have enough money to manage. So, like, what's the point? Why should I even get started? How little can you start with?
I mean, you can start with as little as $100 per month, probably even less than that if need be. The big thing is about momentum, right? If anything inside of our lives we found is just getting the ball rolling is one of the hardest things. Once you start to get in those habits, it becomes easier to save. And that's why a lot of people like to use their 401ks as a starting point if you're not saving anything right away, because it's systematic. It's coming out of your paycheck every time. And the second that it stops hitting your checking account, you start to realize that you don't really need those dollars, right? They if we have extra dollars going to our checking accounts, it's automatically going to get spent. And in today's world in America, it's so easy to spend it. If it's in your account, it's going to get spent. So
And it was really hard to get used to, even though you're taking the money out of one pocket and putting it in the other, it's still hard to get used to that, like feeling good about that,
it is,
being
and so you
okay
have
with
to,
that.
yeah, you definitely need to celebrate when you are doing it, because every little bit helps, and start to build those habits. So be proud of what you are saving, and if you can try to continue to grow those dollars a little bit at a time, it will help.
Andrew, what inspired you to get into financial services and to help folks get their financial houses in order? How did you get started?
Yeah. So for me, I always felt really good around numbers and felt really comfortable about that. But I wanted to be able to help people also, make good decisions. And so being a financial planner was just kind of a natural connection to those two things. So it was pretty easy for me in that sense. But, you know,
Before I ask you my last question, Andrew, for folks that are listening that realize, man, I really need to, get my head out of the sand and take care of this,
yeah.
but they don't know where to start. Like, what do you feel is the most important thing that folks should look for when choosing an advisor? What's important?
Yeah, I'd say one of the most important things. One is, making sure that you're working with a fiduciary that it has your interest in mind. At Abundo, we're very different in that way, in the sense that we are fiduciaries, but also we don't manage any dollars for our clients. And we're of the honest belief that the second that someone starts managing the dollars for you, there's a conflict of interest that exists there. And so looking for a fee-based advisor or fee-only advisor, is a great start, but looking for an advice only is even better. So that would be my 2 cents.
Great insight. I appreciate that. Andrew, for folks listening now that would love to speak with you, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Yeah. Best thing to do is to go to our website. It's abundowealth.com. That's Abundo, ABUNDO wealth.com. That'd be the best way to connect, learn more about what we do. And then from there, you can set up a free 1 hour consultation where we can talk more about your specific goals and needs and then figure out how we can best help you.
This has been terrific. Andrew, I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your insights with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Well, I appreciate taking the time here, Mark, and it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Andrew Dressel. He's an advisor with Abundo Wealth, and this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their practices, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.